Hello everyone, welcome to my NetSec YouTube channel. This video is gonna be my Guardium lab number 6. I'm gonna talk about how to build policy to alarm the data access. This is the diagram. We have one standalone Guardium deployed and one test database server. This is Guardium Web GUI, and we have RDP session to our database server. This is our MS SQL Management Studio, and this is our Guardium VM. For this lab, we're gonna creating a lot policy, which we will do is create a policy and add access rule into the policy. We're gonna specify a lot action when the rule has been triggered. We're gonna select syslog as our notification method. Then we're gonna install that policy. After that, of course, testing the policy. So basically, we have about 6 steps to do. So let's start it. So the policy builder. So right now we have allow all policy. We're gonna create a new policy for our alert settings. In our alert settings, we have to clearly know what kind of data we're gonna monitoring. So then we can create a policy. In my case, I have a database called bike stores. So in the bike stores, I have a bunch of tables. I only treat sales customers as a sensitive tables, so I can create a policy to monitor these tables access. You can even go to deeper, go to column level, but that will be a different rule to do. So to make it our life simple, we're gonna just monitoring sales.customers table. Okay, let's start it. Before we create a rule, actually we have to do one extra thing. We need to build a group to have that sensitive object in the group, so we can monitor in that group rather than just monitoring one object, right? So we can create a group. Let's call it 51sec sensitive object. So we can be application type, can be any group type. You can put object here, and you can see there's a field, object field as well. So right now we're gonna do object, and the members here, members and just the table name. So that's what we want to do. We want monitoring sales.customers. So we only have one table to monitoring. Close. Once we build this group, we can create in our rules and the policy. So right now we are using 51sec allow all policy. That's coming from our previous lab. Now just create a new one. We gave a new name called 51sec alert policy sensitive data access. Now we need to create rules. Policy include the rules inside, so you can have multiple rules. You can tell them to execute the rules one by one, or you can tell them just once there's a match, you can stop. So we're gonna create just one rule here. Access rule. You give a name. Identify sensitive data access. Severity we put high. And now we need to pick the rule criteria. So here you can put the multiple criteria to trigger this rule. For example, you can put the user, you can put the IP. For our list criteria, we are just using the object. So we are trying to find out the matching object in the group which we just created. And you can also have other criteria. After creating the rule criteria, you need to pick a rule action. So what the rule action, which is we talked about, is syslog. You're gonna allot per match for each access to that table. We're gonna have a syslog send out. So for each match, we're gonna have a allot to send out. Click OK for the rules, and then you can click OK for your policy. So now we have policy. We have group. So just going to the top, we have group, and from group we have our tables created in the group as member, and then we created the policy. In the policy we created rules. Let's go to the top, you will see that V11.2 allowed policy. Then we have actions for your rule, which is send the syslog and allowed per match. Now we need to install this policy. Install and then replace the previous one we created and install that one. Okay, install and replace. Okay, now we go back to our SQL database server. We're gonna generate in some traffic from our SQL Server Management Studio SSMS by accessing different types of tables, and eventually we will see this violation logs, and when we are trying to access our sensitive data sales customers table, this table. So what we can do is we can create a new query. Let's try to see select sales dot staffs so we can execute it. So this shouldn't creating any alarm. So we access the data in table sales staffs. That shouldn't creating any instant. Where to check the instance? Go to the comply. There's a report and then instant management. Those are old data I created before, so we can change the timing to only show last maybe 10 minutes. Okay, so no data found for last 10 minutes. So here is to change the time period from now to previous 10 minutes before. Then you shouldn't see anything here because there's nothing trigger the instant. Now we're gonna try to trigger it. Now we're gonna change it to the sensitive table called customers. Execute it. So we accessed this sensitive table. Let's go back here to refresh it. Bump, you will see here is a red one. You see the access, identify the lures description, and the user, and the full SQL string, and the civility is high. That's based on our definition. The instant. You will not trigger by accessing any other tables, as you can see from here. If you try to some other tables, they will not causing trouble. Execute it. Just still one, and then we're gonna change it back. Change it to customers. Again, it should have another second one. Beautiful. Let's try execute again because that a lot will be per match. So we did it 3 times. Now third time gonna shows up here. 3 times. Third time overshow. So that's how you creating your alert policy, which gonna generate an instant in your instant report. You also can configure your IBM Guardium to block the access or quarantine the access. So that's a different topic here. But this video is just show you the basic thing, how to create an alarm policy. Thank you for watching.